Chelsea 2, Tottenham 1. We go on to PKs and win 4-2, and thank God that we get a result against Spurs. Exactly what the doctor ordered. I'm Andres from Star Spangled Blues, and let's get to my 5 quick-fire thoughts. The boys responded to Maurizio Sarri and started the game off perfectly. The intensity was an all-time high, and I don't think I've seen a Chelsea game this season start off so well. Jorginho had so many options to pass, and our possession actually had purpose. Everybody was doing their work, nobody was being selfish, and the movement off the ball was our best so far. Like I said, Jorginho was making passes forward. I don't think I've seen anybody complain about the sideways, purposeless passing, and we were even creating chances. And yes, in the second half, we came out very slow and even conceded a pretty decent goal to Llorente, but the team fought back. Things got very gritty in the second half, but they responded to that too. I mean, just ask Danny Rose. Conte got him pretty good on that tackle. Now, I hate to talk about the referee, but let's be real. Martin Atkinson gives me no choice. And I'm going to start by talking about one specific player in Eric Dyer. And the guy had 4 fouls in the first 20 minutes of the game. He consistently was going in aggressively and late. And he somehow finishes this game without a card. A single card. Overall in this game, Tottenham had 16 fouls. And all we had to show for it was a very late yellow card going to Sissoko in the 72nd minute. That is just ridiculous. The consistent fouling and how it's built into their tactics was obvious from the beginning of the game, and Atkinson just let it happen. But that's not the worst part of it all. It was just the inconsistency of what he was calling. In the first half, no cards. Within the first 10 minutes of the second half, Chelsea was already booked 3 times, including the manager. That's right. Sarri mentioned one complaint to a referee and he got booked. I just don't get it. I don't get how a referee can go from 45 minutes of aggressive, constant tackles, all illegal by the way, to then just jumping on the other team who's played a pretty clean game up to that point and just booking everyone left and right. The constant fouling on Hazard has been pretty key to other teams' tactics for years now, and the league has done nothing to protect one of their greatest assets. It just makes no sense. If a player is getting fouled 5 times early in the game, do something about it. You're the referee. Take control of the game. You are the embodiment of the laws of the game on the pitch. You're supposed to protect the players, but I don't want to get into the campaign against Chelsea by the FA, but it's just getting pretty blatant. And above just this whole referees against Chelsea thing, there's a reason why there was no British referees in the World Cup, and it's because the quality of refereeing in this league is very, very subpar. I just don't get it. Even their use of VAR is lacking, and that Vertonghen tackle, come on now. I don't even want to get into that. Now back to some positive. Chelsea brought back the natural striker and played Eden Hazard at the left wing. I mentioned it previously in my last video, how much I wanted this move to happen. And honestly, we looked so much better on the offensive phase with Hazard operating in his favorite left wing position. And let's focus on Hazard a little bit. He was back on his left wing and shocker, he scored again. He had a man of the match performance. Anytime he had the ball, he looked like he was going to do something special. Dribbling players, creating spaces for others. His link up with Emerson was great. He would pop in sometimes on the right side. Something about him operating in the wing comes natural to him, and Chelsea as a whole benefits from that. And let's talk a little bit about Giroud. Oh, Giroud. Yes, the team overall created more chances with a natural striker in there. And yes, Hazard in the wing was a huge success, but did we miss so many opportunities today? If it was Gonzalo Higuain starting, we might have had a hat-trick from our striker, but yeah, it's just unfortunate that Giroud just couldn't finish any of those chances today. Like I said, ball movement all seemed a lot more natural today from the team, but Giroud, man, come on! Headers, open shots, you had it all there for you. You could have been today's hero. But at least Gonzalo was on the bench watching and thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. I want to talk now about Emerson Palmieri. And no, he wasn't a man of the match or played a 10 out of 10, but there were some obvious differences with Emerson playing at left back than Marcos Alonso today. Not sure if it was just his hunger to prove something, but Emerson passed the vision test. He was making darting runs forward. He was looking solid defensively. He was connecting well with teammates in possession. And he was even dribbling past Tottenham players as if he was a winger. It was great to see. And let's just get a little bit into his stats right now. He won half his duels. He completed over 80% of pass completion. He created 2 big chances, and he was 4 from 7 for dribbles completed. That's a pretty well-rounded performance for a left back that has key offensive and defensive responsibilities. One of those crosses in the game today could have been the winner. It was by far what I think the cross of the season. It was an extremely early cross from the left side over the defense right to Giroud's head, and Olivier Giroud, come on, that was I already talked about Giroud. This is about Emerson. Easily the most complete performance we've had from a left back. I just don't know, man. I asked on Twitter what people thought because I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about Emerson, and what he did today. Was it enough for Sarri to consider him as his starter? The first submission was from @NotWillyB, and he says, definitely need to give Alonso the if you don't want it, somebody else does treatment. I think Alonso is better when he's actually not a slug on the pitch, but Sarri definitely needs to stick to Emerson in the 11 for now. Another person, this is @BoneDaddyCool. It has to at least let him consider it and give Alonso some rest. To get him back in form. And the final submission was from Jad Sufan, and he says, definitely rate Emerson, added speed and power, which never hurts, and he didn't have any bad giveaways today. He's earned it. Hope he gets a run of starts. So, here are my thoughts. Not Willie B, he's right. Emerson needs to kind of put some pressure on Alonso for that starting position, and Sarri, by playing Emerson, will just kind of motivate Alonso, let him know, hey, there's other people that can do this job for me. Now, Bone Daddy Cool, he talks a little bit about more of the fatigue factor, and he's right. Alonso has played every single minute in the Premier League, and I mean, these athletes are human. He's starting to get tired, and when you get tired, your decision making gets worse. It's just a slippery slope of what can happen on the pitch, and maybe fatigue is a factor, so Emerson playing may not be that bad of a thing to do. And lastly, with Jad Sufan, he's right. Emerson is just more of an athlete than Alonso, and maybe that's what we need at that left back. Again, we know Sarri likes to use his fullbacks in a very offensive way, and he was getting himself in positions of danger. He was connecting with Hazard well, and his crosses were on point. So all 3 guys here make great points, but the biggest takeaway from this is that Emerson should be playing more. Whether that's as the outright starter or not, that's for Sarri to come to that conclusion, but playing Emerson more is going to benefit the team altogether. Gonzalo El Pipita Higuain. He's finally a Chelsea player, and he came at the perfect time. We had an awful performance against Arsenal in the weekend. Sarri's asking for players to be motivated, to be fighters. And how does the Chelsea board respond? By gifting him one of the most aggressive strikers in all of Europe. Yes, he gets a lot of critique for coming on from the offseason out of shape and maybe missing some chances in the big game, but everybody knows how well the Sarri-Higuain relationship worked at Napoli, and also the fact that Higuain, since his debut at Madrid, is top 5 in all strikers across the top 5 leagues in goals scored. Everything about this move makes perfect sense in the short term, which is what we need to make top 4. But the most important thing that I'm looking at is his attitude. Higuain thinks he can score everything. Higuain thinks that you can always win a game. He's going to come out and fight for this team. He's not going to fall to the ground. He's not going to turn around and moan to the referee. If this guy can get some good service, which as we watched today with Emerson, Aspie, and when the team plays motivated, we can do, I can only hope that some of the goals will come. And off the goal scoring side, Higuain is also great at linking up play and finding his teammates. So Hazard, Pedro, Cho, Willian, they're going to see a lot more chances coming from their striker as well. So overall, I'm extremely excited about this signing. Again, the most important thing to me is his attitude and the fact that this guy is a winner. And we need those kind of voices going into probably the roughest stretch of games. So today, Higuain got to see what his future teammates can do for him, and I think everybody's excited to see what Higuain can do for the club. Pipita, we welcome you to Chelsea, and let's end that number 9 curse. Some final thoughts I want to add to this, and it's surrounding our penalties. And our 4 penalty takers were fantastic. From Willian to Jorginho to Aspi to David Luiz. All 4 of those guys were fantastic and finished their shots. Jorginho with his typical little hop step, which, man, so disrespectful for the goalkeepers. But hey, if he's going to score them, keep on doing what you're doing, Jorginho. And David Luiz, to finish it off, he's been there before from us. Reminded me a little bit of that 2012 Champions League penalty. The guy knows how to finish them when they matter. But the man of the hour during penalties was Kepa Arrizabalaga, our number 1, man. He was amazing. Yes, Dyer missed his, but that stop was top stuff. Glad that he's our number 1, and he's essentially paying his own price tag. It's been great, and he came up big for us today. With that said, that kind of finishes our quickfire thoughts video today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts on today's Spurs match. What was good, what was bad, maybe something you noticed that I didn't. But specifically, I want to know your thoughts. Is Emerson ready to be our starting left back? How do you think Sarri's going to handle that kind of starting position battle for the rest of the season? Leave me your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, keep the blue flag flying high.